They don't yet have a navy. You want to see something? Go Chinese barge army. They don't really have a navy yet, right? They don't really have much of an army. Militarily, they're like 70 years behind us. Militarily, they're like 70 years behind us.
Hello， 大家好，我是小懒。今天我在网上看到一个老外的视频，他是洋洋洒洒说了不少关于中国的见解。那我听完之后，我就觉得挺来火的。为啥呢？因为这位朋友上来就科普说，中国有4亿人还没用上室内自来水，还有1亿人喝不上干净的水。
Here's who China really is. 400 million of their residents don't yet have indoor plumbing. 100 million of their residents don't yet have clean drinking water.
我想问一下这位朋友啊，请问你这个消息是哪个年代考古挖掘出来的呀？首先啊，这个中国呢是地域辽阔，发展不平衡。过去啊，它确实是会存在一些地区基础设施落后的问题，但是咱们中国人民又不是傻子是吧？更不是原地踏步的。你就拿这个自来水来说吧，这个70、80年代的时候啊，这个农村确实是没有自来水，可能是得去那个池塘里挑水，但是那都是多少年前的事了。现在呢，农村早就通了自来水，这个家家户户都有干净的水，那水龙头一拧开就能用方便得很啊。现在全国农村通自来水率都已经超过88%了。像那个什么甘肃啦、宁夏，就是这些比较干旱的地区政府还搞了水窖工程和集中供水，村民们也不用再跑几公里去挑水了。你这个数据那怕是活化石级别的吧？他还说中国的 GDP 总量是挺高，但是1除以14亿人，普通工人一年才赚12000美金，所以没钱搞消费主义，没法接替美国。
Their GDP is $17.7 trillion for 1.4 billion people, which means the average Chinese worker makes 12 grand a year. So they can't take over American consumerism. Their people don't have money. 400 million of their people don't yet have indoor plumbing.
这话听着就更离谱了首先，这个人均 GDP 只是一个平均数，它并不能完全反映每个人的收入情况。中国呢，确实有一部分低收入群体，但同时也有越来越多的中等收入群体，甚至是高收入群体的呀。再说了，这个谁说中国人没钱消费了？你是没有来过中国吧？你看看我们大街小巷这个商场超市哪个不是人头攒动？各种新款手机啦、名牌包包啦、化妆品啦，中国人买起来那可是一点都不手软的。这2年流行的什么618啦、双11的这种网上的购物节那成交额简直能吓你一跳。上海人买特斯拉要排队，海南免税店挤满抢购奢侈品的年轻人。包括这个苹果手机在中国销量占全球20%呢。这个华为折叠屏手机都卖断货了，黄牛价都炒到2万块了。中国14亿人，中产就有4亿，比这个美国总人口还多呢。耐克了，什么星巴克了，在中国年赚几百亿这叫买不起我估计怕是我们消费能力太强了，让某些国家有点眼红了吧。这位朋友还忧心忡忡地说，中国有4亿人还没用上室内管道设施。我就想问，这个室内管道设施说的是啥？天然气还是下水管道吗？那现在连农村它都连上天然气了，那更别提城市了。怎么就没用上室内管道设施呢？接下来就更搞笑了。他说中国没有海军，只有驳船大军。还拿出这个1941年美国有9艘甚至11艘的航母来对比，说中国2012年才造出第1艘航母，军事实力落后美国70年。
They don't yet have a navy. You want to see something? Go Chinese barge army. They don't really have a navy yet, right? They don't really have much of an army. Militarily, they're like 70 years behind us. We had, 9 aircraft carriers in 1941, maybe 11 in 1941 to fight World War II. They launched their first one in 2012. They don't yet have a navy.
我的天哪，这位朋友，你是穿越来的吗？拜托，现在都2025年了，这中国的海军早就不是当年的无暇蒙了。我们现在不仅有航空母舰，而且还不止1艘，我们的什么驱逐舰了、护卫舰了、潜艇了， 那都是现代化世界先进水平的，你还停留在泊船大军的印象里，你这信息也太滞后了吧。而且用一个国家几十年前的军事实力来否定现在的实力，你这逻辑也是醉了啊！难道说你还活在二战时期吗？时代变了，朋友。他还提到中国的 GDP 有30%都绑在了房地产上，这房价下跌，有空城和破败的基础设施，银行问题也严重，甚至说美国想关掉中国的银行就能关掉，这话说的啊，那简直就是天方夜谭啊。
30% of their GDP is tied to their domestic real estate that they overbuilt. It declined 8.5%. They have empty cities. They have crumbling infrastructure. Their bank ratios are so out of whack that if we wanted to close down all of their banks, we could. Their largest real estate developer folded and had to go into bankruptcy.
中国的经济结构当然是需要优化，房地产市场也是面临了一些挑战，但说我们经济完全被房地产绑架，那纯粹就是危言耸听。这中国政府一直都在积极调整经济结构，推动这个科技创新和产业升级。至于说能随便关掉我们中国的银行，这位朋友，你怕不是电影看多了吧？中国的金融体系是独立自主的，不是说谁想怎么样就能怎么样的，好吧？他还自诩美国手里的经济杠杆有多厉害啊，说125%的关税根本都不算啥，还说这个中国地铁里都是宁可饿肚子也要赢的标语，说中国人自大。
We haven't even begun to use the economic levers at our disposal to fight this trade war. I wished everybody could see the world through my eyes because 125% tariffs are soft. Now, here's what you need to know, man. China has a gigantic ego. When you go onto their subway systems, they basically have signs that say, this is going to be bitter, you might not eat, but we will win. Letting their people know that they plan to starve them because they're not economically advanced.
这完全就是扭曲事实，恶意抹黑，好吧？中国人民当然有骨气有志气，面对挑战不会退缩，但是我们追求的是什么？是和平发展、合作共赢，而不是什么宁可饿肚子也要赢的极端思想。至于你说我们自大啊，那是某些人戴着有色眼镜看我们的吧？我们只是在客观的陈述事实，维护我们的正当权益。更离谱的是他还说中国没有软件开发者，什么电脑开发者都是偷美国的，每年偷5000亿美元的知识产权，所以中美贸易逆差巨大。
You know, they don't have software developers. They don't really do their own computer development. Everybody thinks that they're ahead, you know, because of DeepSeek AI, but they don't have the engineers to develop any of it. That's why they are steal about $500 billion a year in intellectual property from the United States. So we export them $100 billion. They export to us $500 billion plus steal $500 billion in intellectual property. So it's about a $900 billion trade deficit when you answer those two.
哎呦，我的老天爷哦！中国现在有多少优秀的软件工程师？你看看我们蓬勃发展的这个互联网产业、人工智能、大数据，哪个离得开强大的软件开发能力？说我们只会偷，不会自己研发，这简直就是对中国科技创新能力的侮辱。要说偷美国才是真正想偷中国工程师的人吧。
Let's steal their best engineers. You know, China's national engineers developed the DeepSeek AI model that surprised the world this week. You know, we'd be better off if the engineers behind that were working here in the U.S. and U.S. universities and U.S. companies. So it's important to keep that in mind. Those student exchanges are a way that we can siphon off some of Beijing's top talent.
So it's a trade war that must be won, but it could be easily won. People don't even understand the economic levers that we have within the Swiss system and what we can do to exert pressures. We're playing nice right now. You guys think we're playing mean? We're playing very, very nice. Right? No sanctions through the SWIFT, no currency manipulation on the U.S. side. We are taking it very easy on China. I know everybody thinks that Trump is like banging on them, but I don't think you understand what we can do. Now, it's unfortunate that they're going to lose the trade war. Numerically, they cannot beat the United States, right? And it's unfortunate that a lot of Chinese people are going to be hurt. I wished that we could get to the table. I wish that the egos would be a little bit less, because we both have the same enemy. Neither of us want the globalists to be in charge, right? China fights against it. The United States is against it. We have the same enemy. But if China continues with their hubris, it's going to go very, very poorly for them, guys. They are not who you think they are. I mean, 400 million people are second world. 100 million people are third world. They have a few great cities. So I just thought I'd let you know who they are. There's so much Chinese propaganda on this application. I just thought I'd throw out a few factoids that you can look up and verify. You know, another huge problem is China took off their one-child policy and they had a population explosion. Did you know this? 25% of their 18 to 25-year-olds are currently unemployed, 1 in 4. They don't have enough jobs to give to the next population coming up. It's going to be pretty rough over there economically. Their real estates are crashed, their banks are crashed, they don't have a GDP to support their population. Now, I guess the good thing is, if 400 million of your citizens don't yet have indoor plumbing, do you even know that a trade war is happening? I mean, you're subsistence living. 400 million of their people are subsistence living. That's who China is.
最后啊，这位朋友还好心的说，中国废除独生子女政策后啊，这人口激增，18到25岁的年轻人失业率啊高达25%，经济形势不好，很多人都在为生计发愁。人口政策的调整，那是为了适应中国社会发展的需要，解决老龄化的问题。那至于这个青年失业率啊，这确实是一个需要重视的问题，但绝对没有他说的这么夸张。中国政府也在积极的采取措施，促进这个就业了、创业了。而且啊，我再次强调，中国人民的生活水平啊是在不断提高的，而为生计发愁的人数呢也是在不断减少的。听完这位外国朋友的高谈阔论啊，我真的是哭笑不得。他说的这个所谓的事实啊，要么就是这个老掉牙的旧闻，那要么呢就是这个道听途说的谣言啊，还有就是带着偏见的恶意解读。他根本就不了解真实的中国，也不愿意去了解真实的中国。我想对这位朋友说啊，那个世界很大啊，中国呢也很大。如果呢你真的想了解中国呢，你不妨啊，你放下你的偏见，你亲自啊来我们中国来走走，来看看，和普通的中国人啊聊聊天儿，你感受一下这里的这个发展和变化。你不要总是活在自己想象的黑暗滤镜里，那样只会让你离真相啊越来越远。我建议啊，你先扔掉你家的中国制造衣服啦、家具了，你再来说抵制中国吧。啊，你看看贾康哥 Speed 的中国游啊，都比这个西方媒体瞎编的崩溃论啊真实10000倍。
Bro, let me show you what China actually looks like. And I just have one question. How the hell is the US ever gonna catch up to China? Let me just show you what China actually looks like. Check this out.
This is China, baby! Turn up! This is China! Now show the whole city real quick! Zoom out in Song City! Go up and show! Zoom out! Show the whole city! Oh my god! Yo, my god! Crazy! Yo, that was lit! Oh my goodness! Oh, this is China! Oh my god! Oh my god!
With a certainty, I have a sense of urgency, a message for eternity for everyone internally. I had some people burden me, but now
This is crazy!
Am I the only one that thinks that we're literally 1,000 or 2,000 years behind? Bro, how is the US ever gonna catch up to China?
中国呢，当然是有很多不足，也有很多需要改进的地方。但是啊，那我们是一直在努力，一直在进步啊。我们是用自己的双手啊，一步一个脚印的在建设着我们美好的家园。我们有信心，也有能力啊，克服前进道路上的任何困难，实现我们中华民族的伟大复兴。所以啊，下次再想科普中国的时候，麻烦你啊，先做做功课。你了解一下真实的情况，别再闹出这种贻笑大方的笑话了，好吧？好了，今天就给大家唠到这儿，记得订阅、点赞、关注哦，感谢您的支持，我是小懒，感谢。